Good morning. My name is MightyStream. Today is September the 28th. I'm going to do your spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. You can reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and get into the meditation, connecting the NA way. Sharing our recovery stores our faith and gratitude. Seeing that we are not alone frees us from the isolation and alienation of addiction. Guiding principles, Tradition 8, opening reflection. When studying Tradition 8, we often focus on understanding terms like special workers and service offices, overlooking the significance of non-professional. It's as though we can't see the forest for the trees. The heart of this tradition and its relevance to our personal recovery lies in our non professional approach, which makes it possible for us to relate and connect. Most of us interacted with all sorts of people who had a professional interest in helping us before coming to NA: counselors, therapists, psychologists, police officers, probation, or corrections personnel. There's a very long list of people whose job it was to try to handle or manage us when we were so very unmanageable. And yet we still ended up here in NA. In our very first meeting, we were greeted by people who weren't on the clock. These NA members shared the message of recovery with us, not because it was their job to do so, but because that's how we stay clean and recover. Our approach is non professional. It doesn't require formal training, degrees, or certifications, and we have our experience with addiction and recovery. That's all we need. This process of sharing freely shows us that we are not alone. As newcomers, we discover our connection. When we stay and share the message, we are reminded of our connection over and over. Each time we share with another member, addiction thrives on isolation and alienation, and no amount of clean time will render us immune to the tendencies to disconnect. Connecting is an active process, and we do it by sharing freely with other addicts. Sharing in recovery is the antidote to alienation and isolation. By connecting the NA way, I will keep gratitude and faith alive. Now, isn't that a true statement that when I share and when I care the NA way, right? My gratitude speaks. And so we're talking about being able to connect the NA way. And we do that through sharing our experience, strength, and hope. We do that by making the meetings available to anyone, inclusivity. We do that by listening. When we don't have anything to share, it's okay to sit in a meeting and just listen. I was in a meeting the other day, and generally speaking, I make sure the doors, it's kind of like a secretary type position for this meeting. I would try to make sure the doors are open, make sure the coffee is made, um, make sure a whole host of things so that this meeting can take place. And then I open it up on Zoom, right? So be right before, like minutes before the meeting started, a member went into the restroom and the toilet overflew, right? So now my attention is no longer about making sure that when people start coming in, that the meeting is set. So I made a plan, like, you go start the meeting and I'll handle this situation, right? And so I started to handle that situation. And then it wasn't resolvable. So I had to make sure there were signs that pointed to a different restroom in case anyone needed it. And I went down there to make sure that restroom was, tidy and looking clean and something that someone wouldn't mind using. And I just went to check to see if it would flush properly, and come to find out there was a chain that was broken in the back of it, of the tank. So I had to open that up, fix that. And before you know it, about 10, 15 minutes into the start of the meeting time had already started. What point am I making here? I'm not a professional. I have professional skills, right? It's not that but when I'm interacting with Narcotics Anonymous, I'm not coming in with my certificates, right? I'm not coming in with my degrees. I'm coming in as a member And the facility that we used for that particular meeting all of a sudden had plumbing issues. And as a responsible contributor to society that I live in, I want to make sure that this meeting was presentable for other people. I'm not a professional. You can call it service work if you want to, but that's what I call it, service work. Credentials don't matter. I did the best I could with what I was in. Then I let the landowner, the homeowner know you have a serious problem here. You have a plumbing issue here that needs to be resolved. Because I mean that can't happen every week, right? And so it's just to say that who you are is enough. Who you are in Narcotics Anonymous is enough. We want who you are. We want your natural self, your authentic self. Your skills and stuff that you have that are employable and that you use out there, they may at some point in time be beneficial in here, but we don't require them. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. We do the best we can. Matter of fact, I could figure out everything I needed to do except for how to turn off that water. And I remember thinking to myself, my mother taught me tighty righty, lefty loosey. But where is the doggone knob? I'm feeling around trying to find the knob. I had to go get another member and say, can you find this knob? I need to turn this water off. And the two of us were able to handle that situation together. And the meeting, for the most part, went on without a hitch, right? I let everyone share in that meeting, and I was frustrated the whole meeting. I was very frustrated because I was knocked off my square. But by listening to other people, I was able to calm down, right? And then eventually I shared, and I probably shared way longer than I needed to, but I needed to share. Just like everyone else in that meeting that needed to share, I needed to share, and I contributed what was going on with me. That's all that we're seeking here is to have connection, not alienation and isolation. Find a home group. That's my challenge. You find yourself a home group that you can get connected to and contribute your experience, strength, and hope. Do some service work, whatever that is. Find a way to give back and be connected with the society around you. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.